Lovely starshine lights my way to bed. Magic rainbows glisten in my head.
Hi, it's Mel here from Linen-Bloom-Heirloom, just dropping in with a really quick video just to share with you a little sewing space that I'm working in at the moment. What I've found is my main sewing room just isn't very inspiring at all at the moment. It's freezing cold, there's no proper windows in there, so it gets no daylight, it's super dingy, just totally uninspiring, and it's been making me not feel like getting on with much sewing. So I've moved my sewing machine into the tiniest of rooms. It's our box room. It's never been used before. Prior to kind of using it, it was just full of junk. So with it being a lockdown, we thought it was a good opportunity to have a sort out. I did about 10 trips to the tip, emptied the room out and turned it into a little space where it's mainly for when I work from home, because I do training. I train people at work, but we're doing it over Teams at the moment. So just wanted to have a space that's away from the rest of the family, because I didn't want them kind of walking in and out in the background and making a noise when I'm training people at work. And then as I've done it up, I thought, you know, I'm going to use this as a little sewing space as well. It's literally big enough to put my sewing machine in here and nothing else, and it's super tiny, but it's much more inspiring than the main sewing room at the moment. So let me show you around. It won't take long because it's so tiny. Okay, so let's show you around this teeny tiny space. So here I've got the desk. Now it is just a normal computer desk. It's not a sewing table, but it does just about fit the sewing machine on, but not a lot else. But it does mean that I can sew in this little room. Then what I've done is in the corner there, I've put a large mirror, and that really makes the room feel a lot bigger than what it actually is. But what it's also good for is when I'm sitting down at the desk, either sewing or working. What it means is I've got a view of the back wall, which has got some nice plants and things on, which I'll show you in a second. So yeah, it just gives me another focal point rather than the outside, which isn't the prettiest of views. It is, I will be honest, it's really nice to sit at a window, even though the view isn't great, just to kind of have some daylight, because my main sewing room hasn't got any proper windows. It's really dark in there, so it is nice to have a bit of daylight. You can see I do sit in here as well when I'm playing my little ukulele, so that's something else I'm learning at the moment. I'm taking online lessons with Fender on how to play an instrument, so it's nice to sit in here out of the way of the family all laughing at me trying to play. So then over at the back, it is a really tiny room, so it's quite difficult to get back to show you, but on this back wall, what I've got is I brought in a dressing table that was just in one of the other rooms, and I've put on top of that this wooden shelf. Well, it's actually a bench. You may well have seen one of these in the background when I film in the conservatory. My dad actually made these for me. They're made out of railway sleepers, and I absolutely love them. They're dead heavy, dead chunky, but they look great because they're really rustic. So what I've got in this back corner, I've decided to add houseplants, because I think houseplants really make it a relaxed environment. They, I think, give a lot of positivity, so I really like to have the houseplants in here. Most of them are babies, so they need to do a lot of growing. I'll show you what I've got in a second. And then yeah, just a clock and a couple of pictures. I get a lot of sunlight in here. You can see it's just starting to glare in now, so it's really nice to sit in the sunshine rather than the dark. sewing room that I normally work in. So yeah, that's it. Really, really tiny. It's such a tiny room, but I find it really relaxing and quite calming in here. Just show you some of these plants for anybody who is into plants. I'm not very good at what they are called. I think this is called a pepper pot or something like that. It's really tiny at the moment, but I'm hoping it'll grow nicely because, like I say, we get a lot of sunlight in here. These I absolutely love. String of hearts. They're super cute, and then you get little tiny baby hearts growing as well. I've got this one. What's he called? I don't know what he's called. I forgot. But there's him. Got a rattlesnake plant, which are really nice. These can open and close. They open when they get in the daylight, and then they close up at night. And then this is the larger one. It's a philodendron, but I'm not sure exactly which type. His leaves need a good cleaning. He's been spritzed and he needs cleaning off. And that's it. Okay, so that's it. I hope that you like it. I think I will be getting on with much more sewing now I've got this little area done up with nice plants and stuff like that. It just makes me want to spend some time in here, so hopefully that will mean I'll have some more sewing projects to share with you very soon. And it's also given me a kick up the bum to sort out the main sewing room, have a big clear out, throw away or recycle anything that I don't use, and have a good sort out in there ready for moving back in when we get a little bit more daylight and it's not quite so dingy in there. So do let me know in the comments where you sew. Have you got a dedicated space, or do you sew in the dining room or a bedroom? And if you've got any videos showing your sewing space, then feel free to share them in the comments. But other than that, have a wonderful week, and I will see you very soon. Bye.